Welcome back to the channel. LET Tour player Annabel Dimmock is with me. We're going to cover a what's in the bag. Annabel, what's going on?
Hi, Chris.
This is an interesting golf bag. I've even noticed what are you doing with the sticker still on? You got the tag still on.
I didn't know. Oh my gosh, the price tag is on it as well. You know, usually my usual tricks.
Tell us about the camo golf bag first. Any relevance to that? What?
No, I just love camo.
Okay.
When I went down to the TaylorMade boys, I was wearing bait Adidas golf shoes, so they know I like a little bit of this, bit of that. You know.
And then you're holding in your hand a 58-degree wedge, but you've got two to test with different bounces.
You're actually was telling me about this more, but I'm just working out the different grasses. Obviously, when I go to links golf and different types of sand, you know, you need different types of bounces. So I'm testing these two, obviously, throughout the season, depending on where I go and what the grass is like. I'll work out which one I want to put in that week.
Okay.
So to be honest with you, I normally have a lot of different wedges because I don't like playing a tournament with fresh grooves.
How many clubs do you travel to a tour event? Because obviously LET Tour plays everywhere from UK to Africa to Asia. How many clubs will you travel with?
It depends on the course, depends if I've been there before, but at least 15.
Okay.
Always at least 15. I normally actually have a 7-wood in the bag. I think I've got my 5. Is it 5 in there?
Let's take a look. I mean, everything looks so fresh. Am I going to find price tags on this?
Oh no, so the 7.
The 7-wood never been hit.
Yeah.
You've literally just had a trip to Carlsbad and got the full
as you can tell, can't you? The 7 Heaven, my favourite club in the bag.
Okay.
So I'm sure the Q10 will be just as good because I've heard unbelievable things. You know, Charlie's obviously hit it a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to hit it yet. But this is normally my favourite club in the bag and most useful. I don't actually carry a 3-wood, I carry 4-wood because I'm
Strong like bull.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you've got two different models there. What's going on here? Or the fact that you're really still in the testing stages, you don't even know.
I am in the testing stage.
You're such a player. You're just not really sure.
I trust the boys so much at TaylorMade that I'm like, they know me.
Yeah.
So
they know
what I like. They know I'm a field player. As soon as I hit a shot, you can see obviously look, the testing's been going on these clubs, which is always really cool when you take them out of the actual tour ones. That's when you know they're tour.
So you know the dot, if we can get a close up on that. The dot in the middle is just to test like the spring off the face and make sure it's absolutely where tour needs to be.
It's basically the best heads, like out of the whole lot that they've made. I know every single one is exactly the same, but they're never going to be. They have been tested to be like
for face angles and for everything that you want, for sure. Yeah. And this is the trust you have in the guys, so this has come to you 2 clicks towards lower. Because I feel like you're maybe not even going to mess around with the weight in the bottom, you're just going to go with this.
They've just basically, all they've done is made me up the new clubs in my old spec. Because I hit my woods well. I'm testing a new ball at the minute, because sometimes I hit my last driver a little bit high when I get in really hot conditions. And I used to play the X, and then I went through a couple of swing changes a while ago.
Yeah.
And wasn't quite flighting the ball as well as I wanted to and was losing yardage, so I swapped back to the non-X, but now I've gone back again.
So you're in the TP5?
In TP5 at the minute.
And you changed the ball rather than changing the driver setup?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So this is a 10.5 QI10. This golf shaft, the Diamana, in the 53, this is what you played in the old stuff, in your last year's product?
They matched it, so they didn't make my shaft anymore.
Okay.
They didn't make my shaft, but Adrian assured me that this is
as close as he can
get. A match, and he seems to think that this will be a better shaft for me anyway.
So when you change golf equipment, you don't tend to change the shafts, you just keep the shafts where they're at?
Most players just chop the shafts in. Shafts is such a precious thing, like you want to hold on to a shaft that you like. The only reason I actually change shafts is if they wear too much and they're worried that they're going to snap. Yeah. Huge
lesson out there for anyone testing golf clubs. Just listen to how Annabel's talking about her golf clubs. She doesn't want too many changes, and she'll look at the golf ball before even changing the spec of the driver. That's a good nugget for you guys out there.
People don't realise how much people play with the wrong golf ball all the time, my boyfriend included in that, and I try and tell him. For some reason, people want to play with the X, and they want to play with a ball that they think looks good, but ball changes so much, much spin. Like, you can become a way better short game player if you put the right ball in your hand.
So 58, 2 58s there, a 54 and a 50 mil grind 4. You got standard bounce on those lower lofted ones, and then as you get into higher ones, you've got a different bounce option. Your wedge shaft in the nip-on is a little different to your set shaft, and
Yeah.
you go 4 through to pitching wedge on 770. Tell us about wedge shaft choices versus set shaft choices.
I just find the nip-on shafts are slightly more stable. For me, it's just a personal thing, you know. I went to these ones because these were stiff enough and I have very light shafts, so the steel fibres were perfect in the long irons. But like again, I obviously had these nip-ons before. They all used to be nip-ons. And where we're talking, I didn't want to change my wedges. I didn't need to change my wedges because, you know, I changed to the steel fibres because I wanted to be able to flight my 4 and 5s high into like short par 5s and stuff like that, and keep it on the green.
Yeah.
So if I can try and change not as much as possible in the bag, I will.
And then alignment sticks, crucial for everyone.
Always, everyone. If you don't have alignment sticks, sort yourself out.
Yeah, because
Like,
alignment
please.
is just everything, especially when traveling on tour, right?
Yeah, when people go on the range and don't put an alignment stick out, and then they get on the course and they're snap hooking everything because they're aiming 40 yards right and wonder why they're doing it. So annoying.
Stay patient with this.
Yeah.
Look at the roll of the eyes.
Yeah.
Nice head cover.
Thank you. It's a newbie.
And then, is this a newbie?
This is a newbie. This is quite interesting actually. I just had a putter fit in. So I went from the GT old shape spider, which was slightly more curved than this one. This is back to the old shape. Do you remember like the red?
Yep.
Love that. That was like the best
The
spider.
Jason Day spider.
Yeah, the amount of wins Dustin and Jason and everyone had with that. They've gone back to the old shape, and I'm working on, at the minute, my fault is I'm getting a tiny bit too much opening on my backswing in the putting. So it's really interesting. We went in there and the boys at TaylorMade changed the weights, and because the weights in the last putter were in the middle and now they've moved them to the outside, it's making me have a lot stable face, more stable.
The release has changed because you've changed the CG of the location.
The weights, yeah. I literally didn't even need to think anything about of my stroke any different, and you change the weights in your putter and it's crazy how it can affect.
It's counterbalance, looking at the length and the grip. You play a long grip on it. What's your deal there?
Oh, we have a lot to talk about putting off camera. I'm arm lock and claw.
Arm lock and claw. But do you know what? You're actually stood with, so I didn't see the loft on that.
Yeah,
You're
so
stood
it's
with
a
someone
lot.
who's arm lock and claw.
Yeah, thank you.
So
really?
I like arm lock and claw. I like it for maybe different reasons, but why are you arm lock claw?
Just more stable, more consistent under pressure.
Okay.
That's literally it.
How would you explain to someone watching this to try this out? So arm lock claw is the grip we're talking about here, but why did you get there, and how would you explain to someone to try this?
I was struggling with putting a couple of, maybe 2 seasons back.
But you're obviously aware of it because you've talked about face rotation here as well.
Yeah, I do all my putting stuff like mostly myself.
Yeah.
I do go and see someone and get it on the sand putting lab and things like that, but it's nothing technical. Like I never think about anything technical in my stroke. I believe you have to find your own way of putting, and like what we were saying with the chipping, under pressure, if you putt the way that you feel comfortable putting, it will be a lot more successful under pressure. And for me, I was like, right, okay, my coach was speaking to someone and they were like, well, how do you feel about claw? When I first did it, oh my gosh, it felt awful. It felt so bad, and then all of a sudden it felt natural and I was holding more putts and the confidence, and then I just went out and played with it that week after changing it, and it was the best I'd putted in ages. And then obviously getting more and more comfortable with it, I couldn't imagine going back to a normal grip. I find it's so much easier to control. And not even that, like I feel like the pace of my stroke is a lot better now I claw grip it, because you can't get all jolty and things like that, which is obviously not good in a putting stroke, because I don't know.
You can't have it. You gotta have cadence. You gotta have rhythm.
Yeah.
I think there's so much in there, guys. If you're struggling with your putting, go down this route, try it out, get the right loft for it, try it. There's a lot of loft on this putter. I know I've played with other players who try and arm lock, 7 degrees of loft on there. That's a good setup. Tall velvet grips on there, old school rounds, I like them. It's a beautiful what's in the bag.
Thank you.
Anyone wants to learn more about Annabel, check out all of the stuff down below. I'm gonna put her IG account on there. You can follow her playing on the tour. And a shout out, look at this bling she's got on, to Adidas for making this video possible. We'll bang their links down there. Check it all out.